a young woman named Gol lives on a quiet, underdeveloped planet called Seeks. One day, she stuns the galaxy by winning a mathematics competition hosted by the universe's most brilliant mind, Hari. Her incredible success earns her a place as Hari's personal disciple on Trantor, the glittering heart of the Galactic Empire. After saying an emotional goodbye to her parents, Gol departs her homeworld. She boards a spaceship headed toward Trantor's orbit, and from there, she travels down an enormous sky bridge that stretches beyond the clouds and connects directly to the planet's surface. Trantor, the center of galactic power, is ruled by Emperor Cleon, who has somehow ruled for centuries. But how is that possible? To keep his grip on power forever, Cleon created clones of himself. That S-right multiple versions of Cleon now ensured the Empire always has a ruler with the same face, the same name, and the same ambition. Now, 3 versions of Emperor Cleon rule together in a chilling, never-ending cycle. Dusky Oldest acts as a wise mentor. Day the middle Clone holds power and makes the decisions. Dawn, the youngest, stays in the shadows, quietly preparing for his future reign. When dusk dies, the cycle shifts. Day becomes dusk, dawn becomes day, and a brand new Cleon is cloned to start the process again. It's like watching the sun set, darkness take over, and then a new day rise, over and over again. But trouble is brewing. Day begins to worry about Hari. His growing influence across the galaxy is setting off alarms. People are starting to believe him, and that terrifies the Emperor. At the same time, Gol finally arrives on She's greeted warmly by Rach, Hari's adopted son and trusted assistant. He brings her straight to Hari himself. Hari is impressed. He praises Gol for cracking his impossible equation, and the two instantly connect, exchanging ideas and insights. But the mood shifts when Hari delivers a chilling warning. They're both going to be arrested by the Emperors tomorrow. Confused and alarmed, Gol demands to know why. Hari finally reveals the truth. His research into psychohistory, a mix of math and historical trends, predicts that the Empire is doomed to collapse. The Emperors are desperate to silence him and plan to use Gol to discredit his work, since she is the only person alive who understood his equations. But Hari looks her in the eyes and says with full confidence there's nothing to disprove, because he isn't wrong. The next morning, just like Hari said, Imperial soldiers burst in and arrest both him and Gol. The charge: conspiracy to destabilize the Empire. But Hari doesn't flinch. Instead, he boldly speaks out in court, declaring that the Empire is already on a ticking clock. He warns that within 5 centuries, it will collapse entirely, and that not all. He says trillions of lives will be lost in brutal wars that will wipe out entire planets forever. These wars, Hari claims, will rage for a horrifying 30,000 years, spreading destruction no one can escape. But then he offers a solution, a way to cut down the chaos and pain. Hari proposes a brilliant plan to reduce the suffering and shrink the Dark Age to just 1,000 years. His idea: create a massive encyclopedia filled with everything humanity knows, science, culture, technology, so that future generations will have a foundation to rebuild from after the fall. He calls it the Foundation. Then, it's Gol's turn to speak. The room falls silent. She's the only person who truly understands Hari's work on it. She confirms everything. With total confidence, he says, the calculations are correct. The Empire will collapse in 500 years. Hearing this, Dusk turns to Day and coldly suggests they be executed as traitors. And from the look on their faces, it seems that's exactly what's coming next. That night, Gol quietly tells Hari that something feels off about the sky bridge. Her instincts are right, because just hours later, a devastating explosion destroys the entire structure. The attack marks the first crack in the mighty Empire's armor. Flames tear through the Emperors, and every citizen watch in frozen horror as chaos erupts. Entire districts are consumed, and hundreds of millions perish in a matter of moments. It's a catastrophe that shakes the galaxy. The next day, shaken but still defiant, Hari is brought to trial again. He wastes no time. He tells the court that the Empire has grown too large, too fast, and now it's vulnerable. He believes the attack likely came from an outer territory and warns that this is only the beginning. Other colonies will see the weakness ... and strike. Day, clearly rattled, asks if there's any way to slow the Empire's collapse. Hari says yes, but only for a few hundred years. The condition: they must end the cloning of no more endless cycles of the same ruler. But the Emperors refuse, clinging to power. Hari warns them again. True change is the only path to survival. Later, behind closed doors, the Emperors debate Hari and Gol's fate. Executing them is risky. Now Hari's words have started to spread, and people are listening. Instead, they choose exile. Hari and Gol are banished to the edge of the galaxy, sent to an empty world called Terminus, a lonely planet neighboring the warlike worlds of Anak. They'll travel on slow ships, but they'll be given just enough supplies and protection to begin building the Foundation, the last hope for humanity's future. After the verdict, Hari calmly tells Gol that he saw all of this coming. He assures her the Terminus is exactly where they need to go. It's a perfect place to build a foundation and prepare for what's coming. 1 year later, Hari, Gaul, and Rach are deep into their journey toward Terminus. During this long voyage, something unexpected happens. Gaul and Rach fall in love. Their bond grows stronger as they train together in simulated reality, preparing for the dangerous life that awaits them on an empty, unknown world. Back on Trantor, the Empire is still trying to recover from the devastating Skybridge attack. To keep control of the narrative, they pin the blame on Anacreon, a nearby barbarian planet. Meanwhile, Dusk's health begins to fail. Worried about the Empire's survival, he seeks answers. He visits a priest from Gaul's home planet and asks if the girl truly has visions of the future, as the rumors claim. The priest is clear she isn't a real seer, but her prediction about the Empire's downfall is absolutely correct. Meanwhile, Gaul throws herself into Hari's equations, only to discover something troubling they're incomplete. She tells Rage, deeply worried, even the smallest error could send events spiraling out of control for thousands of years. One wrong calculation, and the future becomes total chaos. To make matters worse, the Foundation faces a huge decision. What parts of civilization should be saved, and what should be left behind? Whatever they choose will shape humanity's future forever, because the Foundation will become the ultimate source of knowledge for future generations. Deciding what to preserve and what to let go is absolutely critical. One mistake could echo across centuries. Meanwhile, chaos returns to the galaxy. Day makes a chilly move. He executes the ambassadors from Anacreon and Thespis, and then orders the destruction of most of their planets. But he spares the leaders of both worlds, not out of mercy, but so they can return and deliver a terrifying message. This is what happens to anyone who dares challenge the Empire's peace. Back on the ship, Gaul is swimming during her daily routine when that strange, uneasy feeling hits her again, just like it did on Alarmed, she rushes to Hari's room, and is horrified to see Rach stabbing him. Frozen in shock, Gaul can't understand what's happening. But before she can do anything, Rage shoves her into an escape pod and launches her into space. Flash forward 19 years have passed since the Skybridge disaster. It's time for the secession of the Emperors once again. A brand new Cleon clone is introduced as a baby. The aging Dusk, now called Darkness, prepares for disintegration. But something feels wrong with the new Dawn. He voices his concern to Demersal, the loyal Major Damo, and one of the last surviving androids from the legendary Robot Wars. She calmly reassures him everything is under control, and the eternal cycle will continue without interruption. But by the time they look, it's not just one ship anymore. 3 Anacreon ships now hover over the planet. Most of the colonists stay calm, believing the Empire still protects them. But Abbas knows better. He hasn't forgotten that the Anacreons still carry deep resentment and anger toward the Empire, and now they might be ready to act on it. The colony tries reaching out to the Anacreon ships, but there's no response, nothing but silence. That silence quickly turns into unease. As they wait for the right moment to contact the Imperial authorities, Salva senses the tension rising. She heads off to inspect her weapons, getting ready for whatever may come next. Then, the worst news hits. The colony realizes that they've completely lost contact with the Empire. The line is dead and no help is on the way. They're on their own. In response, Mari brings Salvor into her bedroom and shows her a highly advanced holographic device, something the colony had kept secret. It contains Hari's most important work, the complex mathematical equations of psychohistory. But only 2 people in the galaxy truly understand it, Hari and Gaul. Mari believes that maybe Salva, because of her strange connection to the Vault, might also be able to make sense of it. But Salva shakes her head. She doesn't understand a thing. Not yet. That night, that eerie sensation returns. Salva can feel it in her bones. She heads to the abandoned ship once more and finds an injured bishop's claw inside. She helps the creature, but she's not alone. Anacreons suddenly surround her, demanding she take them to a tower that holds a ship's module they desperately need. Salva agrees but plays it smart. She warns them that the module is DNA encoded, and only one person can enter at a time without setting off alarms. Their leader, a fierce warrior named Farah, decides to go in with her, but Salva leads her straight toward the vault. As they get close, Farah collapses, overwhelmed by the vault's mysterious force. Seizing the moment, Salva drags her back to the colony and quickly arms her people, readying them for the Anacreon's next move. When Farah regains consciousness, Salva wastes no time. She interrogates her using her sharp instincts and uncanny perception. And what she discovers is chilling. Farah isn't just any Anacreon, she's their leader, known throughout her world as the Great Hunter. She's on a mission fueled by pure vengeance, still burning from the day the Empire wiped out most of her people. She's not here to talk, she's here to destroy. But things get worse. More Anacreons begin to appear just outside the perimeter. And this time, they've come in far greater numbers than Salva expected. The colony is now completely surrounded. As Salva braces for battle and organizes the colony's defenses, something strange happens. She's hit with a powerful vision. In it, she sees a young boy standing in the Imperial Library, holding a knife. It's vivid, intense, and haunting. She rushes to share the vision with Hugo, convinced that the Vault is the one sending her these messages. and in her gut, she knows it has something to do with Hari. That library was like a second home to him. It has to mean something. Back on Trantor, Dusk receives troubling news. All communication from Terminus has gone silent. Alarmed, he immediately dispatches one of his top agents, Dorwin, to investigate what's happening out on the edge of the galaxy. The Anacreans begin pushing the boundary. They start firing all kinds of weapons at the colony's protective force field, carefully testing its limits. Then, in a shocking move, they bring in a massive energy weapon, clearly preparing to break through and launch a full assault. While the colony braces for the worst, Farah drops a bombshell during a conversation with Director Lewis, one of the colony's top leaders. She finally reveals her true motive. Her planet is dying, and without that ship's module, her people are stranded. They have no way to travel through space in search of a new home. With pain and desperation in her voice, she begs Lewis to reconsider. "Give us the module, or we'll destroy everything. We don't have a choice." At that moment, an Imperial spaceship arrives on Terminus. Dorwin, the Emperor's trusted envoy, makes contact with Lewis and Salva. Lewis wastes no time. He explains the growing threat and pleads for help. Dorwin agrees right away, but he insists on speaking directly with Farah, ordering the team to bring her to the Foundation Tower. Salva's heart drops. This is exactly what Farah wants. She tries to send a warning, but Rowan, Farah's ruthless second-in-command, intercepts the communication. Sensing danger, Salva races to the interrogation room, but it's too late. When she gets there, she sees that Mari and Lewis have already escorted Farah to the tower, walking her right into the position she needed all along. Suddenly, Farah strikes. But is it really? Soon after, darkness is disintegrated, marking the beginning of yet another eerie transition in the endless cycle of clones. Day steps up and becomes the new Dusk. Dusk now takes the position of Dea, and the newly cloned child steps into the role of Dawn, the next heir in line. Meanwhile, far away on Terminus, Hari's followers finally arrive, ready to start building the Foundation. But something shocking awaits them. A mysterious floating structure is already there on the supposedly empty planet. Intrigued, they move closer, but the moment they approach, they start feeling dizzy and disoriented. It turns out the structure is protected by a powerful energy shield, and anyone who gets too close collapses on the spot. The settlers quickly learn one chilling lesson: stay away. Years pass and colonies begin to grow on Terminus, but the mystery remains. Only one person, Salva, the brave and sharp-witted warden of Terminus, can get close to the strange structure, now known as the Vault. Even she doesn't know why it allows her near, or what it truly is. At the same time, Salva's parents, Mari and Abbas, with Abbas serving as the mayor, work non-stop to build up the Foundation. They're racing against time. The Empire is weakening, and war is just around the corner. They know they must decide what parts of humanity are worth saving, and what must be left behind. Salva has spent years trying to uncover the truth behind the Vault, why it blocks everyone except her, and what it's really hiding. But despite all her efforts, she's found no answers. Then one day, she notices something startling. The force field is expanding. Alarmed, she rushes to Mari and warns her. The Vault might be waking up. She urges the colonies to evacuate the area immediately, before something unexpected and possibly dangerous. Soon after, Salva's boyfriend Hugo, a space trader from returns to Terminus after completing a trading mission across nearby systems. He brings back vital supplies, and the two share a warm reunion. But peace doesn't last long. Salva feels an odd tension near the colony's perimeter and decides to investigate. While searching, she spots a young boy darting into a wrecked ship. She chases after him, only to find it's not a boy but a wild creature called a bishop's claw. She scares it off. But just then, something far more serious appears in the sky, and an Anacrean ship is approaching. Salva quickly alerts Hugo and the rest of the colony. She activates a powerful EMP, blasting it through the Foundation Tower and instantly disabling the perimeter, the only thing keeping the Anacreans out. In a split second, Rowan gives the command. Open fire. Chaos erupts as the Anacreans launch a brutal assault on the colony. Meanwhile, up in orbit, Dorwin and his Imperial troops witness the horrifying attack unfold from their ship. They immediately begin preparations to land on Terminus and restore order. Back on the ground, as helpless civilians are hunted down, Salva charges through the smoke and destruction, heading straight for the tower. Inside, she finds Farah standing with Mari, and the two women clash in a violent, no-holds-barred fight. Blow after blow lands, but after an intense struggle, Salva finally overpowers Farah and stabs her. But just as she thinks it's over, Rohan and his soldiers swarm the room. Salva is forced to surrender, completely outnumbered. Smirking through her pain, Farah forces Salva and Mari to watch as their home burns. With fury in her voice, she blames Hari for everything. His predictions made the Emperors paranoid. They destroyed my people, and we were innocent. Outside, the massacre continues and Anacrean forces slaughter civilians without mercy. Just then, the Imperial ship descends, ready to intervene. But before Dorwin and his crew can act, the Anacreans fire their energy weapons straight at the vessel. The ship explodes in a ball of fire, crashing to the surface in a catastrophic blaze. After making sure Salva has seen the full horror of the destruction, Farah delivers one final blow. She knocks her out cold. Meanwhile, far away, the focus shifts back to Gol, who has just climbed out of her escape pod and docked onto a strange, unfamiliar ship. She cautiously boards the vessel, using the same knife Rach used to stab Harieki to her next steps. But the ship doesn't recognize her. It was programmed to expect Rach now. Trying to make sense of her surroundings, Gol dives into the ship's digital library and what she finds is she's been in cryosleep for almost 34 years. 34 years gone in the blink of an eye. Even worse, she discovers that Rach was executed for Hari's murder, and she's still labeled a co-conspirator in the Empire's records. But there is a small piece of hope. She learns that the Foundation team made it safely to Terminus and the plan is still in motion. Eager to know where the ship is taking her, Gol tries to access the navigation system, but the ship flat out denies her request. It refuses to reveal the destination. Not one to give up, Gol suits up for a spacewalk, determined to get answers. Floating through the void, she looks out and realizes the ship is heading toward a familiar place. Harry's home planet. Gol, frustrated and desperate, demands the ship change its course, but before she can do anything else, something incredible happens. A hologram of Hari suddenly appears inside the ship, captured at the exact moment he was stabbed. It's as if he's still alive, leaving Gol frozen in disbelief. Back on Terminus, chaos still brews. Rohan and a small team head to the fiery wreckage of the crashed Imperial ship. To their shock, Dorwin is still alive, barely, but alive. Meanwhile, hope sparks in the ruins. A group of courageous local children find and rescue Salva, dragging her to safety while Farah remains distracted, handpicking a group from the colony to carry out her next move. That's when Farah's real plan comes to light. She wants to revive a legendary warship called In. This massive beast of a ship is a weapon of pure destruction, capable of wiping out entire planets in a single strike. But there is a problem. The Anacreans don't have the tech or skills to fix it. That's why they came to Terminus to force the Foundation's minds to help restore the ship. Soon after, Salva is back with Abbas and Hugo, and the three come up with a bold plan. Destroy the three Anacrean ships before it is too late. They set out to the enemy's landing zone, where Salva prepares to sneak in and sabotage them from the shadows. But just as she's about to move, another vision slams into her mind, and she collapses in the middle of the mission. In her vision, Salva finds herself in Gol's clothes, standing in Hari's ship on the very night of his murder. She watches, stunned, as Hari calmly speaks to Rach, telling him that the only way to escape unnoticed is to kill him. Hari insists it must look like Rach is fleeing after committing a murder, so no one suspects the truth. Suddenly, everything clicks. This wasn't a betrayal, it was a plan all along. Hari and Rach had already arranged for Rach to be on the very ship Gol would later board. Rach hesitates, stern, emotional, but in the end, he trusts Hari. With trembling hands, he plunges the knife into Hari's chest. Just as they agree, Salva snaps out of the vision, gasping for errors. Hugo shakes her awake, shielding her from a storm of Anacreon gunfire. In the time she was out, Abbas has stepped in, courageously taking her place to complete their dangerous mission. Together, Salva and Hugo fight back, cutting down waves of enemy soldiers, but tragedy strikes. A boss sacrifices himself, setting off a powerful bomb that obliterates all three Anacreon ships in one explosive moment. The colony is saved, but at the cost of Salva's father. Grief crashes over her like a tidal wave, but Salva pushes forward, knowing their mission isn't over. She and Hugo make it back to the colony, only to be instantly captured by Farah. Though she's ready to kill them, Farah realizes she still needs them alive. The only working ship for their journey to Invictus is Hugo's, and she can't risk losing it. With no time to waste, Farah gathers a small team, a few scholars from Terminus, and forces Salva and Hugo on board, and just like that, their journey to Invictus begins. Meanwhile, on the mysterious ship, Gol continues her intense exchange with the holographic Hari, desperately trying to unravel why she was sent to Heliconant, what secrets Hari has buried deep within his grand plan. The more she explores, the more questions arise, hidden within psychohistory, in his mind-bending simulations, and in the uncertain fate of the Foundation lies a puzzle bigger than she ever imagined. But the real question is, what's next? Will Farah manage to activate the planet-destroying warship, and can Gol uncover Hari's true intentions waiting for her on Hell? And will Salva finally unlock the truth behind the vault and the strange visions tying her to Gol and Hari? To find out, don't miss part 2. It's just getting started. The end, part 1.